Hi everybody, welcome to my new channel. To kick the channel off, I thought I'd do a review of my own car. So why do a review of my own car? Well, I don't see many reviews of cars which are, well, this one, it's just done 10, it's just 10 years old now. And it's got 264,000 miles on it. So I thought I'd do a review to see how she's held up over all this time, and see what needs doing. I'll go over what's been done and what needs to be done. So I'm going to run a little montage just to see if you can guess what car it is, and then I'll be right back to you. Okay, so did you guess what car it is? Well done if you did. Otherwise, the car in question is in fact a Kia Optima 2012 Lux 2. First of all, I'm going to say that I'm not a professional car reviewer, alright? So we'll get that out of the way first. So I thought I'd say what the driving experience is like to begin with. Now, I know professionals would say, oh, it's all not direct and a bit woolly and all the rest of it, but personally, in an everyday way, I think the car's great, even if it feels a little sporty at times. I feel the suspension is quite hard set up, which obviously has its pros and cons. One obviously is the fact that I think it has quite a good ride. It's quite firm but sporty. In the corners you can have quite a spirited drive. Obviously you know it's not a sports car. find the brakes are good, but bearing in mind that over the years, obviously I've changed the pads and the discs quite a few times. I've usually gone with Padgett brakes and Eicher pads, and to be honest with you, I think that's quite good enough. They're fairly reasonably priced, and as yet I haven't crashed into anything, so okay, now I thought I'd quickly go through the menu because I remember a certain car reviewer who had a bit of a thing about this car making all kinds of weird noises. I won't exactly say who it is, but I'm sure if you searched certain car reviews you'll come across it. Now, he seemed to have a real big bugbear about the noises and all the rest of it. However, you can turn them off. Surprise, surprise. I do feel sometimes they do make these things look problematic just to make their own reviews look good. So what I will do is, that's the one I always have it on. But if you press the trip, it goes to your eco driving, which obviously you can change by holding the reset button down. We have now these things you can set to give you reminders. If I hold the trip button down, now it tells you can trip to move, and then the other one's set. So maintenance, if we set that, you can do the engine oil and even the tire rotation. Neither of these I use anymore, but I will just for the video set this one. So we're going to not use, we've got 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18. So it does make you wonder, really, doesn't it? The service book states you should do it every 20,000, but yet it gives you these options, so it does make you wonder. Right, sorry, let's go back into that. I obviously left it a bit too long. So maintenance, engine oil, let's set that for 4,500. So you press the reset, all done. Now go back, okay, and we'll press that again. We've got two trip meters. Let's go back into the thing. Now here we go, vehicle option. Now this is where you can alter all certain functions. Auto door lock, which I always use. I believe unlock, I'm not sure about that one. Easy access, I did use that, and that's one of the problems that has come up on this car, which I'll go over in a later video. Go back. If you leave it too long, obviously it goes resets. Right, so we're easy access, headlamp escort. Now I always have that on. It's always a handy thing to have. Now the welcome sound, here we go. You can either have it on or off. I always have it on, because then at least somebody's pleased to see me. I have that on, that's always handy. Average fuel economy, auto resets. I take it that's when you fill up. Every time you fill up or put more fuel in, it resets itself. I always find that quite handy in case I forget to do it. What's the next one? Oh, back now. So yeah, it's not a lot in the menu, but it's enough. rear visibility I think is pretty good on a car like this. There is actually a camera in the mirror, but this is a taximeter mirror, so it's over the top of the other mirror, but at the moment the rear camera doesn't work. Folding down the seats is pretty much a two-handed job. There's no button inside, so you have to pull there and hopefully just pull the seat down. Do that same side and the other side. And pull that one. Pull the seat forward. And you sort of don't really get a very usable space. It's good for long, long and small stuff, but if you luggage in there anywhere, it's really not exactly brilliant, I have to admit. The glove box is pretty big, as I will now demonstrate with a 1 litre bottle of water, with plenty of room for other stuff. And it's cooled. And if you look here, this is where the chilled glove box comes from. All we've got to do is slide that around and it's off and on. The boot is very big. It's 505 litres. Well, the only thing I would say about the boot is it's not a good loading area. These intrude quite a bit, so when you shut the boot, you can't have anything obstructing the hinges, otherwise it won't shut. But it is deceptively big, I have to admit. And the carpet is a bit of a letdown. It does attract a lot of dirt and it's quite hard to scrub off. The engine is a 1.7 litre diesel. From the factory, it's 137 brake horsepower, and average miles per gallon is supposed to be around 40. Yep, it's a bit clackety. So, what's the things I do like about this car? And different. I like it because it's different. You don't see many of these around. And a few people have actually come up to me and said, what is this car? The amount of passengers that get in, they don't know what the car is, then they're kind of a bit blown away, really, because for what I paid for it at the beginning, and it's still going pretty strongly now. I mean, some things are wearing out, some of the hard plastics are beginning to show signs of wear. But it's, it's still a good car. If you can get a good condition second-hand one, you'll be well impressed. Heated and folding wing mirrors. You probably think it's pretty much a gimmick, but to be honest with you, when you are going down a real narrow lane, folding them in can save you a lot of money. The sunroof. I love the sunroof. You can't beat a sunroof. I got a feeling my next car won't have one, so I will miss it if I get another car without a sunroof. You can't beat fresh air. Reliability. This car is so reliable. I know it's not the same for every single Optima out there, but this car has been so good to me. It has never broke down. Never. It always goes. Even with the starting issue it has at the moment, where you can turn a key and it'll wait a second before it starts. As long as you remember to keep the key in the start position, it'll go. You know it'll go. It's never failed to start. These lights are really, really good. And also the cornering lights, unlike other manufacturers where they're down in the fog lights and they light them up to go around the corners, these have a bulb between the high beam and low beam, and it really is good at night. I'll put in some footage in a minute just to show you how good it really is. Okay, so what do I not like about this car? My biggest bugbear, the one thing that really lets this car down, the rear seats. Well, not particularly the rear seats as such, the seat belts. And in my job, God, what a pain it is. Now, I believe I speak for every Optima owner when I say that this is probably the biggest bugbear of this car. Seat belt, the rear seat belts. The amount of people I have. Now, that's fine, but what I find is that when people get out the car, they just push this and it goes down into the seat. It gets pushed right down there. The only way to try and get around it is to push that one in there, but then when you get all three people in the car, you're all going to need a seatbelt. That will still push. It's so easy to push down into that seat. And unfortunately, Kia have no answer to it. The reversing camera. Yep, it's any Optima owner, I think, will probably agree with me on this one as well. The reversing camera does not last. You'll probably get it changed once under warranty and then it just goes again. When mine went again, I just couldn't be bothered. I just left it. And every now and again it came back on and you could use it and it was fine for about a week, and then it went off again. 2 weeks later it came back. And yeah, it was a complete pain. Yeah, so what I would do is go onto somewhere like AliExpress or whatever it's called, and then get a cheap one, give it time to be delivered, because you will need one, guaranteed. You'll need another one, and then you've got it there, and just change it as and when. Hopefully I might get one and show you how it's done. It's easy enough. Okay, so the cost and availability of spare parts. Now, to give you some sort of idea what I mean is, when I had the clutch done, I had all the clutch. I had the clutch, the dual mass flywheel and the slave cylinder, all done at the same time. Now, the garage, when they priced it up, they said the dual mass flywheel was a dealer only option. They couldn't get it anywhere else. So the cost they wanted for that was 1,440 quid. I kid you not. Now, I didn't really want to spend that much on a car that might be written off as, within a month or two. You never know. You just don't know what's around the corner. But I managed to get one delivered at the time for 273 quid delivered, and that was from Germany, I think it was, and that's a Bosch. So, it's pretty decent quality. Now, availability of parts. Now, this is a real bugbear of mine. To get spare parts for this car, I tend to use breakers if I can, to get things like, I've had the EGR valve cooler, and it was just horrendous price from Kia. I can't even remember what it was now, but I got one from a breakers yard, fair enough. But the only thing is unlike the Volkswagen group and stuff like that, there's just so many spares that it's so easy to get something, and some things for this you just can't get. Like wheels, take wheels, because I mean these are forever getting damaged from potholes, and I always tend to get second-hand ones because they're going to end up the same way. But because at the time it was not a very popular model of car, there's just not the spares, second-hand spares, to get hold of. So what would I give this car out of 10? Well, you're probably not going to be surprised when I give this car at least a 9. The only things that let it down, I feel, are the parts prices and availability, of course, second-hand parts, and the seats, the rear seats. That really does get my goat. I really don't like those back seats, well, the seat belts anyway. It causes me no end of grief. Maybe not so bad when you, if you're a family and you only have people in the back every once or twice. But for me, it's every day I get it, and it does grind you down after a while. So would I recommend one, or would I have another one? Hell yeah. I just don't think you can get anything better. I mean, no car's perfect, but this, for me, ticks all the boxes. Right, I have to admit, I'm on a bit of a downer at the minute. A clackety engine bay, it turns out it was my worst fear. Timing chain needs doing again. Yeah, I have to admit, it's something I wasn't expecting. It was changed, apparently it was changed, well, when I changed it last, it was 182,000 miles, and the new chain, well, what was it, 264 I'm on now, so it's just over 80,000 miles since. And I have to admit, I was expecting another chain to last about 150,000 miles. And the other down, of course, just on the eve of launching this YouTube channel, it's one of those jobs which would have been spectacular to attempt. Yeah, the last cost, I remember it being just under £1,000. So it's £1,000, which I'm thinking, should it be put towards another car for taxi wise anyway? And then at least have this car and I can do the work, well, hopefully do the work myself if I can find somewhere to do it. I know you need special tools for it, but yeah, I mean, let us know in the comments, what would you do? £1,000 on a car that you know is reliable and you do like. I have to admit, I do like it a lot, even with the miles on it. Or would you put it towards another car? I know I've only got a maximum of just over a year now that I can run this as a taxi, that I have to change the car in. So yeah, yeah, I mean, the plan of the channel was to take the engine and that apart to see what kind of wear and tear it has on it after all these miles. But the other thing is, of course, I could get it done cheaply and still do that, still strip the engine down. The thing is, it's a working car. So yeah, let me know, what would you do in the comments below. I'm at a bit of a dilemma, and I need your help, guys. I need your help.
Yeah, it is very expensive. We can't get anything aftermarket.
Right.
So the centre and rear exhaust, if it does need both bits,
yeah,
you're looking at £1,300.
How much?
£1,300. £1,300.
Oh, right, okay.
Yes. Yeah, the rear exhaust itself, plus VAT, is £589. Plus VAT.
Jesus Christ. Jesus.
Yep.
Right, okay. Okay, I'll just pick myself up off the ground. How much is the timing chain?
Timing chain is going to be roughly about the same price, because we've got ejector seals and bolts that we need to replace. We need to do a rocker cover gasket and an oil and filter change at the same time to make sure it all lasts for you. Make sure it doesn't stretch or anything like that. And to give you a warranty with it, we have to do all of those bits and bobs as well. You're looking, again, £1,298. For the timing chain.
Now, which kidney do you want then? Both or?
Well, to be honest, I don't know what the going rate for a kidney is at the moment.
I'd want change, I know that. Okay, I'll have to have a bit of a think and get back to you then.
Yeah, of course. No worries at all.
Thanks very much.
Lovely, thank you.
Thanks, bye now.
Thanks,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Bye. Anybody got a spare kidney? I hope you enjoyed my little review there. Having covered over 200,000 miles in this car, I'd like to think my opinion may carry some weight if you decide to buy one of these cars. Go and test drive one, that's all I can say, because they really are that good. But if you have liked my little review, please please subscribe and join me on the journey. Let's see if we can get this car back to her best. Bye for now.